Sherelle's tax podcast. How are you, Sherelle? I'm
Uh,
so excited to talk to small business owners in general, to learn specifically about their taxes and the mistakes. Today's topic is mistakes that that small business owners make every day, and you deal with it all the time, right?
oh yes, yep, daily.
Daily. And what do you think, first of all, that you see when you start working with a business owner that they just really don't understand when it comes to their taxes?
First of all, they don't understand the exact business expenses that they can truly expense out.
And a lot of accountants don't do that, right? They don't tell them what they can expense and what they can expense out. They just want the information, they put it into the system, and then that's it.
That's pretty much it. Yes, I'm
Kind
quite
of,
different.
yeah, go ahead, good. What I wanted to kind of take into that account, Sherelle, is that the process, that the mistakes that they make is they're looking at things and they just don't understand what they can write off, what they think can expense, what is a write off and what isn't.
Exactly. They don't understand that pretty much anything you spend on your business is going to be a business expense. However, there's different categories that those expenses go in. And sometimes there's, expense that you think, oh, well, hey, this is something that I'm just always spending money on anyway, and I use it personally, but sometimes we use it in our business too. So that could be a percentage that you're missing out on.
Exactly. Because and what are the most common mistakes business owners make when it comes to that?
So a lot of mistakes I see are auto expenses. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to write off 1,000,000 miles. I'm going to just write off all my gas and oil and things like that. They don't understand that there's a process in your automobile expenses wherein that if you have so many miles, okay, that's fine. But the IRS is not stupid in that they understand that a lot of people do not keep track of those mileage the way they should. They really don't. They're not tracking them. A lot of people don't want to be tracked. So they're just guesstimating and they're not realizing that you can only do a depreciation on your vehicle or you can do the mileage, not both. You don't do oil changes and all the maintenance and depreciate and do miles. And see, people think, oh, I'm just going to do it all. And a lot of times they put all of that on their tax return doing it themselves and they get audited because of that.
Oh my goodness. You mean they just go ahead and just so the basic situations of what to expense and not. And that's interesting, but also the other way around, right? They aren't expensing everything. They're not writing off everything. They're just giving it to their tax person, or they're doing their taxes and they're missing out completely.
Exactly. I see a lot of small businesses coming into my office and they're trying to keep track of everything on a spreadsheet instead of having an accounting software. Yes, I've been dealing with QuickBooks for many, 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 many years. So I love QuickBooks. They're going through a lot of changes right now. So some people are getting aggravated. I do too myself a little bit, so I get it. But there's other types of softwares out there. My company, we use all of them. We're going to try to push QuickBooks because I'm a QuickBooks affiliate and I can get it to you cheaper than you can buy it straight from QuickBooks. But we can use anything, and we don't. We try our best to encourage you not to try to keep track of everything on a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper or what. That's just not feasible these days.
Well, when you do that, then you're gonna have to spend more time preparing their tax return.
Yes, and people hate it when I say, "Oh, okay, here's your invoice. Yeah, here's your tax return." But we have, 6 hours of accounting because you brought me a bucket of receipts instead of keeping track in a software like you should.
And the funny thing is that the software can go back for you using those specific softwares if you're keeping good records. So if
Exactly.
you are working too much in your business instead of on your business, that's when you do that. But how important is it in so many ways to be able to have somebody that knows exactly what's going on in the process? Because at the end of the day, you're looking and saying, what did I write off? What did I not? My business is worth nothing on paper. how are you going to sell it at one point in time?
Exactly. Right. If you don't keep track of those expenses, income, your balance sheet, I mean, everything has to balance. Everything has a check and balance, you know? So you have to look at it that way. Another thing that I see a lot of people making a huge mistake is they think, oh, I'm paying for QuickBooks and I don't like it, or I'm paying for this software and I don't want to pay for it, it's too expensive. What they're not understanding is they're not paying for anything. If they have a registered true LLC partnership or whatever the business is, they're not paying for it. Their business is paying for it. So they need to stop looking at it like, oh, Sherelle Copus is paying for whatever is going on in Sherelle's tax. No, sir. No. When your business entity is structured the correct way, then your business should be paying for your expenses, not you.
And that's something else you do. We're talking taxes today, but next week we're going to talk about how we organize our business. Because a lot of times people are just running willy nilly and then they go to their taxes and then they owe so much to the federal government and they're like, what just happened here? How is
Yes,
this?
yes,
And those mistakes are made constantly. And you could have somebody who's helping you that's really intelligent, but just doesn't know the accounting world. And then you're going to owe the federal government all this money. And you're going to say, how the heck did that work? I might as
ex-
well be an employee.
exactly. That's right. We don't want you working for your business. We want your business working for you, right?
So one thing that differentiates you from the H&R blocks of the world or wherever are going to, anywhere to your taxes is you're going to look at the structure of the business, look at how it's being run, how what taxes are you looking at and specific things. It really makes you differentiate you as an accounting firm, right?
Oh, yes, yes. So one thing that I hear from my new clients all the time, oh my gosh, Sherelle, you asked me more questions than any other tax person I've ever gone to. And I'm like, that's right. That's exactly right. Because you know what tax is? It's nothing but being a private investigator, digging in there, investigating your story, your tax situation, and let me see what I can do here. Let me see what credits you qualify for, you know. So a lot of people don't understand that.
So
They
you're
just kind of,
looking at the tax laws and saying, what stuff can I qualify for you and all those different things. It's
yeah,
important.
exactly. Yes. So we look at the entire situation, personal, business, all of it.
I think it's so key. If you're not doing that, you're missing out in so many different ways with it. And let's talk about what do you think other mistakes people are making when they expense? I love the idea of the mileage because they think that's the big one. What other ones?
Oh yeah, they think that's the big one. They think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, write off 30,000 miles this year. Well, hello, first of all, if you're not a trucking company, why are you driving 30,000 miles? What kind of a business do you have? It must be an Uber driver or something. So first of all, your tax return, your expenses, your income has to make sense. If it does not make sense, trust me, the IRS agent looking over that return is going to find it quickly. Huge, real big problem I see is people think, oh, I'm just going to do all these things and nobody's going to notice. Well, there are millions of tax returns that they don't notice, but what if yours is the one they do? So there's a thing called red flags, right? Little red flags. They don't just audit tax returns anymore, just like, hey, I'm going to just audit this tax return. No, it's kind of like the game at the circus or the fair, actually, where all the little glass balls or bowls are full of water and you throw the ball and the one that lands in, that's the one you win. You know that game, right?
Yeah.
And that's how audits work these days. They just all the IRS agents are playing a party, having a party, and they're just throwing a ball and saying, "Hey, let's audit that one when the one that lands on." Basically, is the way it works. I mean, there are red flags. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Your tax return must make sense. It tells a story just like everything else. And I can look at a tax return from line one all the way to the signature line and tell you, oh boy, okay, this is the problem.
And
Usually I can see those red flags. And if I can see them, trust me, the IRS agent is going to see them too.
right. And it's not always a bad thing to be audited if you're doing the right thing. too,
That's right.
because if you have everything in ducks in a line, it's not like you're going to go and get in trouble. That's the
Yes.
other missing component is you're being audited, but yet you have all your ducks in a row. There's no worries.
No worries. Exactly. So when you have a professional who is like we are, asking a million questions, asking for all those documentation that if we're going to ask for it, trust me, the IRS agent is going to ask for it too. And what a lot of people don't realize these days is that the accountants, the tax preparers, the offices, the businesses who are the firms, we are getting more responsibility put on us too, not just the tax preparer. I mean, taxpayer, the tax preparers are also responsible for that return being correctly. However, it's on what information we get from our tax client, right? So if you're not keeping track, if you're not hiring a professional to help you keep track, and you just have a big bucket of receipts or a drawer that you just throw them in, woe is me.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you serve all different types of professionals when it comes to doing their taxes, right? For businesses.
We have all types of clients here, all types of businesses here. And the thing about Sherelle's Tax is we have all different types of professionals too. I don't just have CPAs, I have CCTAs, enrolled agents. All of our team here are all professionals.
And that's the key. It's a team. It's not just you. And you have a team of professionals to make sure they get the best service possible. And it seems like that.
Yes,
You said you're constantly talking to your clients, seeing what they're doing, and how can they grow as a business? Because if they grow, you grow.
yes, that's right.
And but you got to treat it like a business, and that's one of the most biggest homework assignments is keeping detailed records of all your expenses, where your money's coming in from, and all those different things,
Yes,
because if you don't, it's going to come back to backfire on you.
that's right. That's exactly right.
All right,
You
so
know,
we'll
you're
talk more about what you do, some other things that you do next week on the podcast. Really, the focus and attention that we wanted to kind of cover today is these crazy mistakes they make. So we look forward to more of those interesting stories, but looking at how we structure ourselves as a business, that's what we're going to learn about next week. And we appreciate you coming by.
awesome.
All
Thanks,
right,
Neil.
that was a special simulcast Neil Haley Show and the Sorrells Tax Podcast.